Hello, everybody. We are here today to talk about the 1992 film Boomerang.
I'm Heit,
And I'm Cheri.
and you've discovered Axiom Amnesia.
We want to thank all of the supporters who helped to make this video possible. If you want your name to appear alongside these contributors, make a one-time donation via Cash App, or you can head on over to patreon.com/axiomamnesia to enjoy all of the benefits of becoming a monthly subscriber. So let's talk about what actually happens in the film. Okay, Boomerang, like we said, 1992, it was directed by Reginald Hudlin, and it is a romantic comedy. It explores love, power dynamics, and the complexities of these types of relationships. So Eddie Murphy, he stars as Marcus Graham, who is this charming and successful ad agent executive, and he is renowned for his womanizing ways. Marcus is suave and confident, and he just believes he has complete control over his romantic life. Like he got women just wrapped around his little finger until he meets his match. So Marcus's world is turned upside down when Jacqueline Breuer, who is Robin Givins' character, is his new boss, and she comes in the picture. She's beautiful, she's assertive, but she is just as manipulative in relationships as he is. And Jacqueline flips the script on him, leaving him emotionally vulnerable and forcing him to confront his own flaws in this film. And as he struggles with the rejection and the, I want you now, oh, okay, get away from me type of thing that she's doing to him in this movie, he begins to question his own shallow approach to love. And so amidst all of this emotional turmoil that he's having regarding Jacqueline, Marcus grows closer to Angela Lewis, and that's Halle Berry's character, who is this kind-hearted artist. And she's also a colleague who happens to be his best friend Gerard, David Alan Grier's character's love interest in the film already. And it's funny because the way they wound up even hooking up in the film, or kind of being this love interest, is because Marcus is so busy being obsessed with Jacqueline, and he wants to get rid of Angela because she's in his face talking at a party at a moment. He's like, here, I know somebody you should meet. He puts them together so that he can go and be free to try to chase after Jacqueline, right? Basically what happens is he starts getting close to Halle Berry's character, Angela, and they develop this romantic connection, and it creates this tension in the friendship that he has with Gerard. And it also tests Marcus' loyalty, and it forces him to navigate the consequences of his actions in all of these relationships, right? So then we have Angela, her warm and sincere personality. They ultimately help Marcus to realize just what truly matters in a romantic partner. This is kind of what the thing that facilitates his personal growth. So Boomerang is celebrated for its stylish depiction of Black professionals, nuanced explorations of these gender roles, and witty and heartfelt narrative about love, friendship, and even redemption, right? And so at the end, basically what happens is we have a situation where Angela and Marcus are now a couple. His friendship is messed up with Gerard because Gerard is like, man, I can't believe you slept with my girl. And Marcus gets an opportunity and he sleeps with Jacqueline again, right? He'd already slept with her before. And Jacqueline just decides she wants to sleep with him because she sees him and Angela together. So she's just throwing a monkey wrench in the plans. So after he sleeps with Angela, he comes back. And Angela knows what's up because he didn't come home last night. Hence this line of love should have brought your butt home last night, which leads to the song Love Should Have Brought You Home by Toni Braxton, right? And so Angela leaves him. And so after that, he seems to change his life. He begs Angela to come back. She gives him another chance. And when, the credits start rolling and everybody's happy. That's basically what happens in the film.
Damn. Okay.
Just kind of following that narrative. A lot of other stuff happens with some of the other side characters, but this is kind of like the main plot of the film.
Yeah. So is this where the Black marketing exec cliche comes from?
I don't know, because it certainly seems like every time, there are these Black executives, they're always like ad agency people or,
Yeah, it's just, are you a lawyer who's trying to make partner?
Yeah.
But a lot of times, the whole show Blackish, right? Your boy was was a marketing exec, right? With Dion Cole and them, or they were at least at the firm.
Yes.
So yeah, that's this thing. I don't know if that's just something that, I don't know. It's just weird that it's used so much. Like, dang, how many people in marketing? And why is it viewed as this high-powered sort of a thing? Right? But the idea for this is like, okay, we're showing black professionals of the 90s. I get that. But it just seemed like it just had a cascading effect where everybody just like, I'm going to do that too.
Grape Tea News says, Marcus was a simp. You can't trust dudes like Marcus. He'll do anything, even cross his boys just for some cat. And you know, he did in this movie. And we're going to get even deeper into some of those conversations because Marcus was just very self-centered, very foul. You know, Whitney Trevon says Marcus didn't really lose anything. He gets Angela, makes up with Gerard, and even gets to reject Jacqueline one more time. And you know, that's true. And I couldn't help but think that when I was kind of tallying it up, like, what do I really think? You know, he really, this is the way that
we have to wait till we get to the end of that.
Yeah, they jerk us around with these movies sometimes because what we want as an audience to happen in the end is really not what is just.
Right, and that's like the art of storytelling. It doesn't matter what you really feel and believe. It's that they take you on this journey and then you feel like there was something that was met, that was a yearning of yours. And that means like, dang, all right, you did a good job at this.
Yeah.
Until you be like, now let me sit back and think about it. Then, you know, that's a different way to take in the art.
Yeah. Demona says, I feel like Marcus saw himself in Jacqueline, which is odd. However, they both seem narcissistic and it's like they are a project for each other. Angela was manipulating Marcus, Gerard, and Jacqueline. And so I think you're saying Angela was manipulating everybody. And I mean, but, okay, so here's something I'm going to pose. Isn't it true maybe that people just manipulate other people, right? And it just is part of the interaction that happens, right? If you like somebody, you want them to like you back. So then you're trying your best to be as perfect as possible. Even that is a form of manipulation. I think that there is nefarious manipulation, right? Where you're like, hey, I know I have nothing good for this person, but I still want my way and F them and how they feel about it. And then you just kind of have what I think is in the normal realm of people just trying to control their environment and the people within it, right? And not necessarily do bad things to them. So then Paris says, all Angela had to do was wait her turn. Jackie was serving Marcus up on a platter. Yes. She was serving him. And we're going to have to talk more about the character of how Jackie was, because she was just like, well, she was like a lot of people think men are. And she was judged very harshly for being that. And we got to talk about that. Marlon Bellamy. Hello, Marlon. Good to see you. Just trying to get through, other comments here. And Paris said, I've always felt that Angela got what was coming to her. As soon as Jackie gave her the details, 2 minutes later, Gerard could not hit if he had had a bat. Okay, so they're talking about here when they got together and were kikiing about Marcus on the job. So we got Marcus, Gerard, who's David Allen Greer, and we have Tyler, who's Martin Lawrence's character. And they're like three friends who all work together and whatever. And honestly, it's like Gerard and Tyler are both incels and Marcus is getting all of the,
Why they got to be incels?
Well, definitely Gerard is. And I think Tyler was, but he's the there were two types of incels. There's the unapologetic one who's like, well, what about believing in love? And, he's got this high moral thing, Gerard does. But Tyler talks like he's not an incel, but he really is, right? Tyler is just talking like he's getting it, but at the end of the day, he ain't. So we were talking about Marcus and how he betrayed Gerard. Like, Gerard was his friend, but like, was that really his friend? Or is it just that a person who is
if y'all
like
going
this
out,
isn't your friend?
Well, see,
because they saw each other outside of work,
bro. Yeah,
and
we
everything.
can't go
it
back
wasn't
to
just a work friend.
They're friends, right? But we can't go to somebody's not a friend if this, right? If they're either friends or they're not, right? They may be good friends or bad friends or better friends, worse friend, right? I think is how it's done. And they're friends. And So that's the part that's wrong with the movie too, right? So he gets the girl, and then he just took him, right? And then
Yeah.
all of a sudden he's just like, yeah, it's cool. It's cool. What? How is it just cool?
Well, I don't know.
It's just cool. But what I see is, I don't know, he seemed that he was mad that Gerard was mad that he wasn't told, that Marcus didn't tell him about it, right? But you shouldn't bring your girl around him.
I think he would be mad either way, because even though all evidence there was that there was not going to be a love connection, because it
doesn't matter.
But no, I'm not saying it did, even though it wasn't going anywhere. Definitely, I think he should have just kind of said hands off of Angela, because that's just, that's his friend. They all work together. He just couldn't get that boundary together. And then the way that they made it like, they fell asleep in each other's arms and they wake up and they start tonguing each other down or whatever. Like that. No. Y'all been wanting to do it. And it's just, I don't know. I feel like that was just foul.
Well,
and
that's how you got to do it in the movies, right? Like in Waiting to Exhale, we just fell asleep in the bed together, didn't do anything. Then they make it seem like, this some real love stuff, right? That's just something they do in movies for whatever reason. If you don't just get to it, then it means something special because you just like spending time with the person is what it signifies.
So Gerard was upset. And I think Gerard was upset because he did like her and he just didn't know how to close the deal.
Yeah.
I think that was it. And he tried to play it off with him like, I told her to date other people and see other people so that to save face if she wound up doing that. But he wasn't expecting for it to be his boy. Like,
Yeah.
Anyway, so we have these three friends or whatever. One of the contrasts that happens, I think, is that Gerard's, his actions and value system, they really show Marcus's, they highlight his shortcomings to me. Like he really felt for Angela, but Marcus, he seemed to think Marcus was basically going to treat her like he treated the rest of the women. And he didn't want to, even after he found out
it's only good if you treat her right because I care about her so much.
Yeah.
It's like my little sister.
Yeah. And so I don't know what that was all about. And then it's interesting because he looked at her like she was a victim. But what did you say when we were watching? Yeah, when we were watching, you were like, she was like, you want me to help you with the dishes? And then you was like, why is she asking? And she trying
Yeah, everybody leave. Hey, I'm going to stick around over here and do womanly things for you. Come on, Angela. She was plotting because she was over there talking with Jackie. Jackie, what movie was that? Jackie was or a song or something. Jackie was telling her how good it was. And then now she like, I'm going to try it for myself. Wasn't it like in a movie or something or a song back in the day?
I don't know.
About not telling people how good it is because they going to want you. Oh, it's probably Betty Wright.
Betty Wright?
Betty Wright song.
I mean, it might be. It sounds like
it is a
something.
Betty Wright song. Somebody in the comments, I know y'all know which song that is.
Whitney says that Marcus liked Angela only because she was different from the women Marcus typically dated, the nice girl. But why wouldn't Layla Rashawn qualify as the nice girl? Like she was a little ditzy, but she was nice. She wasn't not nice. There was no reason to believe that she was like conniving and plotting or looking for some type of come up, she would have been nice, I think, but I think it just didn't matter. He's the kind of person who has to have everybody. Are any of y'all nurses?
What?
The reason I ask this question is because I have seen male nurses that have gone up in places and have run through the place.
That says more about the women.
Well, I don't know.
What?
Listen,
do the other ones know?
I don't really know how it all actually happens. But, I've seen that.
If there are any guys out there, and y'all kind of single, you might want to think about being a nurse.
Oh, man. I was
a CNA once and I got harassed.
Oh, my gosh. Y'all, okay, I have to stop and tell this one story.
Wait, what story? Oh, that story, bruh.
So we were at a nursing home facility, and this is not Heit back in the day. This is like Heit, within the last 10 years, let's say. And we were at a nursing home, and we were visiting someone, and the room was small, and we're all just kind of standing around in the room, and then this woman comes.
How you say it?
An octogenarian. She was not that old. But sometimes maybe she was. I didn't get that great of a look at her or whatever. And but Heit was the one who was closest to the door. So she comes up, and she's a resident there. And what did she say to you? I don't even remember what she said.
She say, "You want to go and have some fun?" Why is you laughing?
Because it was hilarious. Because then I looked over, and you had this funny look on your face, and I'm like, well, I don't know what's going on. So then I turned back, and I continued talking and whatever,
She was being very aggressive. She was trying to get me. She's like, come on. What?
Yes. And so then another family member who had been there before, and was familiar with this woman was like, oh, so-and-so. She was like, going back on down to your room now. Leave him alone. He's with us. I was like, who is trying to snatch off my husband up in this place? And then when he finally, after we left, and he told all of what had happened, oh my gosh. And I guess if it wasn't so funny, I would have felt bad for him that he was harassed. But I was like, man, you're young. And it wasn't real, right? You're a man. Yeah. People don't take it the same way. It's just whatever.
So Piff say Shirley Brown, woman to woman.
Okay.
What part of the song? Let me look up the lyrics and see what specific part.
So that's a crazy story of one of the weird things that has happened to us. We've had many crazy things happen. But that was sort of funny. But anyway, so while he's looking that song up, it's just, we were on the subject of male nurses running through the staff and all of that. And just having seen that in the past, and just the dynamics, and maybe the fact of the matter is that no matter how much people are like, be professional on your job and blah, 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 blah. Even the fact that in our casual conversations, people say things like, I got a work wife, a work husband, a work, even the fact they label their person that's on the job as a wife or husband is it's pointing in the direction of a certain level of inappropriateness, I think. Honeybee says, I caught Alive on one of my favorite movies. Yeah, this is a lot of people love this film, Boomerang. And then they were talking about John Witherspoon's character in there, where he's talking about he coordinates. He had the mushrooms on the inside of his jacket. He was like, bang, bang, bang. And then him. So let's talk about it, because this is Gerard's father. So Gerard's mother and father are, in their advanced, they ain't that advanced age, but middle age. They're taking breaks, getting it on in the bathroom and stuff like that. And Gerard is basically not failure to launch, what I'm saying? He's not able to close the deal, and he's right there with this beautiful girl or whatever, and it's just, and even at this point we have Angela well, I don't want his parents to think we're together, and she says this to Marcus, and I think she's saying it because I think it's when they're washing the dishes, which is the same night they wound up hooking up for the first time. She's saying it to be like, I don't want you to think we're together, right? So that that your path is clear. That's what I think that was communicating.
Yeah. But so how you say you have Gerard the way he is, he can't get nothing, but his daddy, he and his mama, then they just getting it on anyway.
Yeah, and so clearly the daddy, kind of had his thing together, And what I do think is funny, because, that they both also, the mother and the father from here, were both also in Friday After Next, which we had covered on the Axiom Amnesia channel recently. And they were Craig's, it was Miss Pearly, and Craig's daddy. So they weren't a couple in that movie, but it still was funny because in Friday After Next, she was trying to get with Craig's daddy. And that was John Witherspoon was always funny in everything I saw him in. There was not a time I saw him that I thought he was not funny. I don't know. Okay, so at the end, let's talk about how Marcus went up on the rooftop after, before he gets his girl back. And he's just like, yeah, I'm sorry. He apologizes to Gerard, and Gerard just forgives him. And it's just over with at that point. And do y'all think that like he should have forgiven Marcus? Because I think you just don't ever talk to Marcus again.
What?
Why do you want somebody like that around you? For real though. Like, I'm just serious, because at some point after he finally finds a wife, maybe,
After who finds a wife?
Gerard.
Yeah, okay.
Then you know what I mean? Like, Paris agrees his apology was trash. Like, come on. This was his only chance in the near future.
Okay, you might have a point there, but
he just disregarded that.
Yeah, well, they're just friends though, right? So I don't know. I just you kind of mentioned, and maybe it was some other video where you talking about giving grace to somebody and not just very graceful, I guess. But yeah, well, here's his friend.
Yeah, I mean,
her.
I guess now you're testing me.
But it's probably it's his character. Maybe he didn't really forgive him, right? But he's just a weak character, right? He can't decide even what to eat and stuff, right? And he's just like, yeah, I forgive you, and that's just what he say to get through, right? To keep things going.
And then I don't know, like, because as I try to flesh this out, maybe people like Gerard kind of need to be around people like Marcus though, because they give them something, maybe enough gumption to get the car out of park. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I don't know. It's just a tough thing, because I just feel like what he did was so dirty to his friend. And that's your friend. That's not just your coworker. That's not somebody you just know. If he had done it to Boney T, whatever, because him and Boney T weren't friends like that.
Wait, who is Boney T?
Boney T is Chris Rock.
Okay.
Who was just the...
I have a theory about that. We're going to have to go back again and watch it again about Boney T.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's kind of how I look at that.
Well, what does Gerard get?
Man, Gerard gets a promotion at some point, and he's just still at that job, and he just never gets the girl unless something significantly changes. He never, because how does the guy like that get the? Even when Angela was trying to be aggressive toward him, he just couldn't receive it. Like, I don't know.
Well, this other dude, Angela wasn't ish, right? That's probably what it comes down to. Because somebody who was about something, they have to be like, oh, cool guy, maybe like him and stuff. And it doesn't matter, like, how aggressive he is, right? It doesn't matter, because I'm just going to be here every day, yo. Right? And then that's it.
Angela was talking about she want 10 kids. He was like, 10 kids? How do you know? I just see Gerard as like being very, very practical, but he was just not suave really in any sort of way. And he was very indecisive, which can be I don't want to say it.
Turn off?
Not just the turn off, like it can be imagine if so you're talking about traditional gender roles, and the person who's like supposed to be driving the car is indecisive.
Yeah, but see,
I can't be comfortable in the passenger seat.
Well,
he can't even can't even decide what to order for carry out. Although, these days everybody is like, what are we going to eat for dinner? That's probably one of the more difficult questions of adulting. But you know what I'm saying? Like, his inability to make decisions and execute is a real problem in his life. I don't even know how he was effective on his job with that personality trait.
Exactly, but I don't know. Maybe they just went overboard, right? But they played it off like it's just a little cute thing. They couldn't decide, we didn't eat, right? So you don't leave that like, okay, this relationship doesn't work. But for some reason, for the movie, they made it like, all right, yeah, now she's ready to move on.
Yeah.
I don't know. So why was Chris Rock's character trying to hang out with him?
Because he had power.
Yeah, he's like, you can move me up out the mailroom.
Yeah, he's like the mailroom guy. So, maybe if I just create a relationship, kind of like back in the day when Calvin was on fries or whoever at
Bruh,
McDonald's. You know, today I'm working
Calvin
fries.
got a job.
Next, you know,
Bruh,
next month I'm gonna move up to.
That's coming to America.
Okay, well, it still is McDonald's, even though it's McDowell's. It's all the same to me in my mind. You know, and it's not unlike, y'all, I don't know if I ever said this, but like when I was in high school, I did work at Popeyes. And it was much similar to that. Like, you know, they're like, oh, here's the order that you have to bag the items in, and cold items with cold and hot with hot, and, you know, all that. And they give you a little test, and you would get a little pen to say, like, I passed the bagger test. I passed, you know, this or that.
Because one time I went to Burger King, and this woman, she had like, I don't know, 100 pins on her shirt.
Because she knew how to do all that stuff up in there.
And I'm like, what is this? She's real decorated.
I don't think they give tests no more, because when you look at the quality of the way stuff is getting run today,
they might still be rewarding you.
Maybe you take them all online and can cheat or something. But no, I had to go down, and this was in Chicago, because y'all know I grew up in Chicago. I had to go down to like the main Popeyes, which at the time was like on 35th Street. It was still on the south side, but it was like on 36th Street and whatever, and schedule my little test and go in the back room and take the test so that I could. And then if you pass, you know, it was paper, of course, you know. And if you pass, they give you the little pen and you could feel proud and everything like that. Yep. And I don't know, in those days, man, it was the 90s. I was probably making like $3 something an hour. Didn't even make no sense.
Wait, hold on. It was Paris who said he wanted Boney T. He wanted to be associated with a Playboy so he could get some kind of clout.
Yeah. One way or the other, job, clout, and then plus being associated with gave him the tea, you know, even though they didn't call it tea back then, right? It gave him the information that he could shop around.
They called it tea?
Oh, okay. Well, everywhere he delivered, you know, the mail, he was like, well, you know, because Boney T was telling everybody everything. Boney T was giving the tea, literally. Miss Sage says, from Chicago. Okay, Miss Sage.
So Casey says he even said his reason. So that's the thing, right? About what someone states. We're talking about a movie of a manipulation, right? So you butter up a person the way you want to butter them up so that you could get what you get. So I don't necessarily, even in real life, I don't necessarily take what people say as their true motivation and reason, right?
We thank you all so much because we know that you all have things to do in the evening. And let us know, what movies you think we should be covering. We always ask these questions, but, you know, we have to revisit it. Just make sure you're subscribed to all of the channels in the description. We so appreciate, the people who just watch the videos, the people who are our patrons and people who are our channel members and one-time donors, everybody, because it helps to keep this thing going. So, you know, we're just grateful for everybody who just wants to come and have a conversation with us and finds us interesting enough to stick around to the end. So, you know, we just appreciate everybody for that and always want to never forget to thank you guys for that.
If you made it this far, go ahead and type the Playboy in the comments so we'll know you're one of the real ones who stick around to the end.
And be sure to check out one of the videos that's on the screen right now.